Any sport involving dogs and people moving at fast speeds isn't without risk, especially because our partner in this sport is a living and breathing being with interests of their own and difficulty controlling their impulses. Temptations for our dogs out on the trails come in all shapes and sizes. A slight rustle in the trees next to us or a big puddle on the trail might just pique our dog's interest. But the desire to go for a swim or chase after a deer or another dog could result in a high-speed collision, which could hurt you and your dog. Getting consistent on-by is a common concern for canicross and bikejor enthusiasts, for good reason. And it's also something that takes a lot of time to develop because it takes lots of reinforcement, a strategic training plan, and lots of thought when out on the trail. I'm Chelsea with Positive Futures Dog Training and Behavior. If you're new, thanks for tuning in. And if you're returning, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to share my secret on how I handle all of those doggy distractions out on the trail to help my dog build a reliable on-by and keep all of us safe. The first thing I always consider is, where is this dog in their training journey? When training on-by, we teach it just like any other behavior. We put it on cue, work on building distractions, and then work on introducing non-food reinforcers. This process takes a while, and the actual amount of time from teaching the behavior to getting reliable responses on the trail with big distractions varies a lot from dog to dog. Consistency with practice, smart setups, and the dog's individual impulse control all affect how quickly the dog will progress. So, when running a dog on the trail, it's important to have realistic expectations. Where is this dog in their training? In a controlled setup, how well do they know the cue on-by? What level of distractions have you built up? How well have they generalized this behavior? Have they practiced in different environments with different distractions? Having the answers to those questions helps you identify if your dog is at a novice, intermediate, or advanced level. Then, you have to decide what trail distractions fall into each of those categories for your dog.
Yes, good
If
girl.
your dog has only worked with novice level distractions like stationary toys and food bowls, you should avoid intermediate and advanced level trail distractions. So, if I encounter these distractions with the novice dog, I may stop and let it pass us, or move to the side and work on attention. This way, you're still working on teaching your dog impulse control with attention and stillness in the presence of distractions. And you prevent them from rehearsing the wrong behavior of lunging towards the temptation. The second thing I think about when deciding what I will do about those pesky trail distractions involves looking at the potential dangers involved. Slow jogging on a flat and open trail presents much less risk than a group bikejor ride on an intermediate mountain bike trail. Taking an accidental swim in a creek in the summer is safer than a plunge in a pond in the winter 7 miles into a wilderness trail. Safety is important. It keeps us and our four-footed partners physically healthy so we can continue to enjoy this fun sport, and mentally safe so we don't have to spend time rebuilding confidence in our dogs or ourselves after a bad crash. So, how to think about those dangers? When on a trail or running in a group, it's important to stay vigilant and be proactive. It's important to think about how close you are to your friends, to the roads and the fast-paced cars that are traveling on them, and to other things on the trails like rocks, cliffs, and trees. Be smart about keeping adequate space. When the trail gets technical, don't be afraid to slow down and watch your terrain carefully. By keeping a close eye on your surroundings and responding appropriately to any dangers on the trail, you are more prepared to handle those unexpected distractions. That squirrel darting across you is much less scary on that skinny technical downhill if you've already slowed down and had your eyes open. Finally, we want to make sure that we've read all of the trail rules. When you get to the trailhead and you're getting ready to go, look for an information sign with the trail map. Or you can plan ahead and look for this information online using a state park's website or a site like All Trails. Some trails are runners only. Some allow bikes, and some are multi-sport, allowing horses and motorized vehicles. The one thing they have in common? They all have rules that each person needs to follow. This will tell you which direction you should be traveling on the trail, what kinds of distractions you may encounter, and even which trail user has the right of way. We all want to go out on the trail and have a good time. Us canicross and bikejor enthusiasts, and people headed out for a casual trail ride with their horses. No matter how skilled my dogs may be with on-by, I always will follow the rules and yield the trail to the user who has the right of way. This ensures that everybody has a good time and that we set a good example for our sport. With trail rules in mind, there sometimes comes a time where you encounter a distraction, like another person on the trail, where passing is appropriate and allowed. It is always important that you call out your pass ahead of time. On a public trail, I will call out, "Passing on your left," or "Passing on your right," repeating loudly to ensure that I am heard, and then I cue my dogs on by. If your dog is at a novice level and is not yet ready for passing, you can hold your dog close to their collar or harness line to keep them close to you as you pass. This way, you can safely pass other trail users without your dog causing a problem or rehearsing undesirable behavior. Distractions are hard, and lots of training goes into those clean passes you dream of. If you plan on hitting the trails for some fun and fitness before the behavior is trained to a real-world level, then having a plan in place is important. It's good practice to think about these things ahead of time so that when the distraction hits, you know exactly what you're going to do to make sure at the very least your dog isn't getting practice of what not to do. So grab a pen and paper and take some time right now. Where's your dog in their training? What distractions are you likely to encounter at your favorite park that they can and can't handle? Then think about everything that makes up your trail: the surface, trail width, obstacles, and elevation change. How can you be smart about using the direction you travel and where you slow down or speed up to help give you time to safely react to those distractions? And with those trails, what etiquette can you follow? What distractions can you pass versus slowing down or pulling over to the side? And with those passes, is your dog really ready to do it at the end of your line? Or is it better for training and safety to be closer to them? All training plans include management to make sure that your dog learns what we want and is prevented from getting a chance to make a mistake. I hope that these tips help you really think about your training plan so that you can be smart and safe out on the trails and continue working towards your bomb-proof on-by with distractions. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our dryland mushing playlist. You can also hit subscribe so that future training tips and tutorials get sent right to you. Hope to see you chasing tails out on the trail.